I remember sitting in my living room playing video games for hours on end, not even actually having fun, but rather just distracting myself from the fact that I knew I had nothing better to do. And I would be playing the game, pretending to myself it's fun, but deep down I think I knew I was lacking purpose and I was lacking something more stimulating to do with my time. And for me, video games was my escape of being able to convince myself that what I was doing was worthwhile and that, oh, I was having fun with my friends, but at the same time I think I knew all along I wasn't actually doing anything as productive as I could have been. But I was a lot younger and more naive, and I didn't even realise at that time the reason for me wanting to play video games was, and it was because I lacked that purpose and that drive to do something more meaningful with my time. And if you're anything like me, you can relate to the fact that you're not actually having fun, you're sort of just choosing instant gratification and not actually doing anything worthwhile. Like, you deep down know it's a waste of time. In this video I'm going to be teaching you 3 things: the reason you game, how to stop gaming, and what to do in your spare time in order to be more productive. I'm not going to waste your time, but simply put, the reason you game is because you have nothing more fulfilling to do with your life in that moment. You're lacking purpose and motivation to actually go chase real dopamine and achieve real goals. I'll say if you were younger, like 8 to 12, this isn't so bad. Like, a lot of kids wouldn't have a defined purpose or a defined sort of career at this age. But I would say that if it starts to get to the point where you're getting into your sort of later teenage years, 16, 17, 18, 19, even into your 20s, and you're spending 4 hours a day playing RuneScape or Minecraft, or just literally whittling away the time, then you need to crack down on trying to cut out video games as much as possible. I mean, I know guys who are 26, 27, sort of around the age, I think 20 years ago you'd expect to be having children, and they're still spending like 6 hours a day playing video games, which is mad. But simply put, the reason you game is because you lack purpose and drive. This brings me on to my second point of how to stop playing video games, and exactly what I did. So the first thing you can do is just sell your console or your gaming setup, whatever it may be. This is exactly what I did in 2021. I remember I just got fed up one day of feeling like I was wasting my hours, wasting my time. I was fed up of playing video games, so I just sold my PlayStation, and yeah, that pretty much solved the problem for me in terms of gaming on like a TV and like a setup. Because without the console I couldn't game anyway. It meant that I didn't have a routine in place where I would sit down at my chair in my living room and then start gaming. Without the console, it wasn't really like I had anywhere to game, so it took the habit away completely. It also means that you're not going to be as likely to waste your time because you're going to find something else to do instead of that time. So that's honestly the biggest thing I could say, is just sell your console, because doing so will mean that you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to waste your time. You're going to have so much more free time. I mean, if you're anything like me, spending 2 to 4 hours a day gaming, suddenly that's 2 to 4 hours of your life you've gotten back every single day. So the sooner you sell it, the sooner you get rid of the console, the sooner you quit video games in general, the more time you're giving yourself back into your life to follow your purpose and actually choose a proper career path, and just to make progress in self-improvement. And I know a lot of people who will say, oh, but I want an hour or 2 at the end of my day to play video games so I can relax and unwind. And to that I say, yeah, you're right, you do need an hour, maybe even 2 hours at the end of your day to unwind, relax. But there's better ways to go about it than playing video games. You're not gonna fall asleep better because you just hijacked someone's car on GTA, or you just shot someone in the face in COD. Like, that's not how it works. You're gonna have to find a better release for yourself which actually relaxes you and doesn't spike your dopamine so high. For me, that's usually reading. I usually read before I go to bed, and that's just overall a much healthier way of relaxing, because not only am I actually unwinding and I'm not coping to myself saying, oh, if I play video games for an hour I'll be okay and I'll be more tired to go to bed. By reading I'm learning, and I'm also doing something more productive because I'm finishing a book in the process. But it doesn't have to be through reading, you can do this literally through so many other ways. Meditation, self-care routines. I know for some people exercising as well in the evening is beneficial. There's loads of different things you can do, mate. Another counter argument is people say, oh, but I'll probably just play games on my phone. Delete these as well. Get some apps to put measures in place like I have. I've got an app on Android called AppBlock. That's really good for stopping like the the impulses that you get when you want to download a new game. Essentially just adds friction to that bad habit. If you can also design your phone to be less distracting in general, like turn on the black and white filter in settings for iPhone, set up schedules on Android to make sure that your phone is black and white from say 9 PM till when you wake up 7, 8 AM. That really helps to eliminate distractions and not make you as likely to be distracted in the future. The reality is you're never going to gain anything from playing video games. Even if you became like a pro esports player, I'll insert a picture somewhere here of a pro esports player, you can just see they're not very masculine. They don't look like they've got real fulfillment. They don't look like they're achieving actual goals in life. Being like a pro esports player, they have some respect, but as soon as they step out into the real world, there's not a lot for them. Most of them just look like socially introverted nerds. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but a lot of these pro esports players and pro gamers, you could probably look at them and guess what their career is if they would say, oh, I make 100, 200k a year, which is good money, but if they said I make 100 to 200k a year, guess what I do, you could probably guess it there. If you are making like 200, 300k a year, bro, on playing video games, then fair enough, but for the most part, you're not going to become a pro esports player. It's not going to become your career. And like, I might be wrong, a lot of them have obviously done very well for themselves, earning a lot of money and making a career. There's always the people who say, oh, but I could become a pro one day. Like, you won't, bro, you won't. This now brings me on to my third point of what you should be doing with your time instead of gaming. Now, honestly, I could say that I quit playing video games in 2021. I sold my console and I never touched a video game again. This isn't true. It was only when I actually started to fill my time with more meaningful things, more meaningful habits, and do more of my time did it become way less of a problem for me. Because the truth is, you're not actually going to gain anything from just quitting video games. You have to find something else to do with your time, and you have to find something more fulfilling to do with your time that you can work towards every day, because otherwise you're just going to go back to playing the same things you did before. The human mind is literally wired to make you choose the easiest path for dopamine possible. It will do whatever it can to get the most dopamine in the easiest possible way. Your brain literally needs dopamine to survive. There was a study done by scientists where they essentially took out the dopamine receptors of rats in a lab, and the rats literally ended up just not moving at all and dying there on the spot because they didn't have any willpower or any desire to do anything, not even to eat, to drink. They literally just died out because they took the dopamine receptors out of them, which goes to show that dopamine is important. You need dopamine to live. If you didn't have dopamine, then you would either be a complete idiot or you'd be dead. This is why 1 in every 5 people you see on the street will have their necks bent over looking at their phone, just scrolling or getting some sort of dopamine hit from their phone. We live in a attention economy, and the only reason TV, video games, sugary snacks exist is to hold your attention and give you that dopamine hit. Simply put, the better a company can hold your attention, the more likely it is they can then monetize it from you, meaning they can get more money from you, and then they can create a cycle of, let me get this person's attention, let me earn money from them, then we get this person's attention, then we earn money from them, and it just repeats and repeats. If you keep someone's attention for long enough, you can monetize it. Another point is that, if anything, video games are actually negatively affecting your life rather than just wasting time. If you're in your 60s and you're playing video games, it's not really a problem. I mean, you've basically lived your life by then. If you're in your retirement, fair enough. However, if you are a younger guy, especially in your teenage years, you're in the period of your life where the foundations and morals you put in place really can dictate the next 10, 20 years of your life. You need to be focusing on building good habits, and habits that last are actually going to be beneficial to you, because you're not going to get anything from playing video games. You're reinforcing the habit that you're okay sitting around and not doing anything more productive with your time. I think that's very dangerous. If you look at most people who game, do it for years and years on end, essentially just sitting in a chair staring at a screen. It's like you're training your mind saying, I'm okay sitting around and letting my time go by. Habits are certainly the foundation to anyone's future. If you're putting habits in place which aren't actually adding to your real life, if they're not actually giving you something to build upon, then it's likely deterring yourself, because you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm fine doing this habit which is taking away my time, and you're reinforcing the habit of wasting your time. Another problem a lot of guys face is that just based on pure willpower, they might stop playing video games for 1 or 2 days, or they might stop eating the junk food for 2 or 3 days, but the problem is that likely you'll go back to your same old habits. And again, the problem isn't that you're chasing dopamine, that you're trying to get dopamine, because again, you'd be weird if you weren't. But the problem is how you're going about getting that dopamine. It's not natural. It's not like you're outside going for a walk or reading or meditating. You're literally like 2 inches away from a screen shooting people in the face. It's not normal. You're literally chasing dopamine you don't even have to work for. So again, sheer willpower isn't enough. You have to find better habits to fill your time that you actually enjoy doing. Like for me, I enjoy reading. I enjoy going for a walk without any music. I enjoy doing natural forms of dopamine releasing activities. I've just got some examples of good habits I wrote down earlier. There's going to the gym, playing sports, reading, meditation, socialising, deep sleeping, listening to some of your music, going for a walk in nature. I think the sooner you stop doing this bad habit and you take on the identity of someone who, instead of wasting their time, is leveraging their time, working towards building a better self-image for themselves and becoming better every day. Once you take on the identity of someone who does that every day, it suddenly becomes so much easier to stop playing video games. From the point when I sold my console in 2021 to the point where I'd say I stopped playing video games completely was under a year, and that's just from working hard and deciding to chase raw dopamine instead. In the book Atomic Habits, it talks about one of the quickest ways you can change a habit is taking on the identity and the self-image of someone who doesn't do that habit anymore, or rather the self-image and identity of someone who does a different habit you want to adopt. So for example, when I was trying to get into reading, I took on the identity of I'm a reader, I read books, and I just did a little bit every day. I'd read like literally a page a day, maybe even half a page a day, but it's the consistency of the habit that made me now read every day. The easiest way to quit video games is to take on the identity of someone who doesn't play video games and instead works hard in their everyday life to improve themselves and become a better version of themselves. And doing this, you'll see the biggest change, not in just your habit of playing video games, but across your entire life. You'll start to become the person who wants to work harder in all endeavours, whether that's school, the gym, anything. If you become the type of person who first of all knows you don't waste your time, then you start to become the person who actually wants to make their time as valuable as possible and wants to leverage their time in the most efficient way. And just realise life is actually a video game. Like all video games are based off the journey of life, but they just do it at 100 times or 1,000 times faster speed. So you can either level up through pixels on a screen and get that diamond sword, or you can level up with grind in real life and become more successful. But yeah, it's your choice, bro. Just to recap, 1, you play video games and distract yourself from reality because you lack purpose. This is likely a reinforced habit from your youth. Get rid of your console and limiting beliefs that it's beneficial to you. Find better, more beneficial habits to fill your time and life with. Get into the mindset that your life is literally a video game and that you can be leveling up in the real world instead. If you think this video is useful, click the subscribe button down below so you can see more content like this from myself on a more regular basis. Choose wisely.